Alright, I just want to do a quick video to give anyone who's interested in this vehicle for sale um, kind of a look around. I figure this will be a better way than pictures, and you can get an idea whether or not you're seriously interested. Um, but yeah, this is 2013 Kia Soul. I'm just going to run through the interior here, and then we'll go through the exterior when I get a chance in a more quiet space. But yeah, 2013. I'll go ahead and start it up while we're at it. This is your key, lock, unlock, and it also has actually remote start, which is nice. And I just press it twice and it starts up. Of course, you can do that outside. Let me turn that down. But I'm going to put the key into place, and then you just turn the key and press the brake, and now it's ready to go. Turn the air down, but it's pretty warm, so I'll keep the AC running. Yeah, it's got 83,000 miles on it. It's been a great car for me. I've owned it for about the last 12,000, somewhere around there. Prior to that, I believe it was just one owner based on the Carfax, and it was taken extremely well care of. Yeah, that's pretty much one of the main reasons why I bought it, is because it was so well taken care of. If we just kind of span around, I'll show you the door here. It's got the Soul lettering. Kind of neat, I suppose. Everything is in pretty good condition, maybe a little marks here and there. It's really, I'd say, great condition for the year and such. It does have the speakers that light up. It's on the mood setting now. Of course, you can switch that over here to the music. If we're playing music now, you could change the color and such. I like to run it on the mood lighting anyway. At night, it can kind of add to the driving experience. If we look at the steering wheel, we've got horn, of course, and you've got cruise control. You've got this. This is connected to your infotainment system, your UVO Connect, or voice recognition system, however you call it. Bluetooth buttons. This relates to your again, to your radio infotainment system there, volume up and down. There's your gauges. The air is running it. This car runs so incredibly smooth, and with the air running or not, it runs great. If we look around here, the center portion, center console, we've got cup holders, center armrest, storage. You can see the, let's see, we've got 6-speed automatic transmission. It does have the manual shift. We'll take a look at the engine, but the engine it's got the big engine, the 2-liter, which has got plenty of power. I think 140 horsepower for this size of car. It's great. It cruises on the highway with low RPM, which is great. Let's see, let's move up to this. We've got of course, air conditioning, climate control there. Let's see, we've got your trip button, so that switches between information there, your range, mile per gallon, that kind of thing. If we look up here, this is kind of neat, the touch screen. This does have the higher option one, so you got power button on, off. Let's see, it's got, I think I'm getting a phone call if it doesn't turn on the, anyway, let's see, so you got AM, FM, satellite radio option. On certain weekends it does, you get that free satellite, but you can pay for that if you'd like. This stereo system, and again, I guess I'll move on. The media, so that's when you're connected with your phone. or if you have a CD. It's got a jukebox, it's called. Not sure if you can see that, but the jukebox is basically like an MP3 system, where you can store music in the car, actually. Phone. So that's if you want to connect. Let's see. Set up for different options, and again, this is all touchscreen. It's, you know, it's 2013. It's not the most up to date, but it's pretty nice. It's got the backup camera, which is great. Basically, this car overall, I'd just say it's nicely optioned for what it is. You got storage compartment up here. You do have the speaker up there because this has the Infinity system. It's got a great sounding, and you're not going to be able. It's got a built-in subwoofer, so I mean, the thing sounds great. Moving on, we've got brand new floor mats actually, and yeah, I'll kind of span around to the back seats. Incredibly clean car, I would say. I'm pretty meticulous about them. But just a sec, and I will take you on a drive here quick, just to. Alright, so we're just driving out on the road just to give you an idea of how it drives. I mean, this car has, I haven't had to do anything to it. I don't expect anybody would have to do anything major to it for the next 100,000 miles probably. But yeah, it just runs smooth as can be, relatively quiet. It's got brand new tires, which I'll show you as you go on the exterior. It does have the eco mode, so eco to turn it. Eco just basically makes it a little less responsive and that kind of thing, to potentially save some gas, but I generally just leave it in the regular. Well, I go back and forth. Just a pretty smooth driving little car, perfect for, you know, kind of driving around town, that kind of thing. Even on the highway, actually, though, it is fairly comfortable, and it's, like I had said before, with the bigger motor, it cruises pretty quiet at low RPM on the highway. But anyway. When I get a chance, I will take you on through the exterior of the car. Okay, so we're in a little more, I guess, quiet place, or a place where we can take a look around the outside of the car. But also, I wanted to run through some of the information that I have with the car. The first thing that I should make mention of is that this car was bought at a salvage auction. That is where I have bought several, probably about 10 vehicles of my own through that avenue, and so I will have them fixed up and put them back on the road and drive them. I've driven this for the past 10-12,000 miles, and yeah, that's just kind of the process that I've worked with. But this, again, I'm pretty particular about which vehicles I buy, and this one was in tremendous condition. It smelled practically brand new when I opened up the door while it was sitting in the salvage auction. I'll give you an idea, and I'll show you some pictures, some video of the process with that, so you can see what it looked like when I bought it, and the process of fixing it up. I did the work myself primarily, but this car was such a, to be totally honest, it was about other cars that were worse, but this car was an incredibly easy rebuild project. All that was replaced was the front bumper cover, the driver's side fender, and I'll show you those, and driver's side fender was purchased off a vehicle in the salvage yard, a junkyard. It was in the same color, so it wasn't painted or anything. Front bumper cover was professionally painted, an aftermarket one that was professionally painted and installed. And then a few pieces along the front bumper cover, trim pieces, the front lower grille, black piece there, was replaced. But yeah, there's that. And then the other issue that while I owned the vehicle, probably after about 5,000 miles last year, in August in Kansas City here, when there was a lot more flooding going on, excuse me, I'm going to turn on the AC, it's getting warmer in here, but while there was that flooding was going on, the actually in the apartment complex where I was storing the vehicle, there was some, the parking lot flooded to a certain extent. This vehicle, I didn't even realize it was flooded until after when I got in it, and the water level was, let's see, I'll point over here. Water level was right at about the bottom of the door sill there. I actually I started the engine, started right up, drove it to work that day, but I did call my insurance company, and they told me to, go ahead and take it somewhere and see what their estimate is. I took it to Olathe Kia, the dealership there, and had them go through it, and Progressive sent out their insurance adjuster with it as well. And so with that, they ended up fixing everything on this vehicle. They tore out all the carpets, tore out all the interior pieces, made sure everything was dry, and it was treated with antibacterial, whatever their special treatment. Progressive has a way that they go through that. But anyway, long story short, they spent, I believe, nearly $6,000 paying out on this, getting this fixed. So it's got, as a result, it has brand new carpets. I literally just took the plastic off them probably last week, even though I was driving around with the plastic on for probably 9 months, 10 months. But you can see here all that was replaced. You can take a closer look at this if you're seriously interested. But they ended up replacing a couple modules. They replaced the starter. They replaced all the carpets, and yeah, replaced cabin air filter, replaced the battery. That wasn't anything to do with the with it, but they did end up replacing the battery. Then they yeah, they did basically their entire deal that Progressive does with their that requires, if they're gonna fix any vehicle that was affected by water. But since then, I've driven the vehicle for the past 10, 11 months, and there has not really been a single issue with the car since then. This car is really, this is one of these cars I would not be afraid to sell to my, to my best friend, and I wouldn't even, think twice about it. But I just want to run through some of this stuff. It has brand new tires, pretty much. What is it? 5,000 miles ago. Kumho tires, which are pretty nice tires. They've been, maybe I've got close to 5,000 miles on them actually, but they were just rotated. Let's see, go through some of my mess here, but the only other thing, and then we'll wrap this up pretty quick, The only other thing, this is just a list of some of the maintenance that was done that I just kind of kept records of. Oil changes, transmission was flushed at 79,000 miles, so about 4,000 miles ago, 3,000 miles ago. Again, there's the new tires. Tires rotated and balanced. Otherwise, this car is just solid. I mean, it hasn't really needed anything. Anyway, I'm gonna just kind of walk you around. Hopefully, you can hear me in the wind. But pretty much, I'm just gonna give you a little walk through the exterior of the vehicle. Exterior is pretty flawless. I just opened up the hood. There is, you can see that it's a little discoloration on the grill there. A couple little rock chips. Let's open this. The engine bay is pretty spotless. Got new battery. I would guess the engine will last for a very long time. Again, this is the panel that was replaced. If you look closely, there may be just a little bit of a change of the shade, just to point out some of the stuff. It's kind of dirty with pollen, but this vehicle's kept waxed, and I'm pretty particular about my vehicles. This fender was replaced. It's an OEM fender. Anyway, we'll just do kind of a span around just to give you an idea. Extremely clean, but alright, so just to give you a little closer look, here are the tires, Kumho Solus, SOLUS TA11s. Well reviewed tire, quiet. They've got a lot of tread on them. They were just recently replaced. If we follow along, I'll just try to point out any little things. The roof is pretty much right on. There might be a little bit of dents here and there, but nothing very noticeable at all. This right here, this is just a protector that I put on the paint. We'll open the rear while we're at it. Pretty clean. This does have a little bit of staining there right now. I just ran the vacuum through it the other day. Seats have a little bit of staining on them, but that should come out with kind of a steam back or something of that sort. All the wheels are in just about perfect condition with the exception of this one. This one has a little bit of a scratch, a little bit of road rash, I guess you'd call it. The rear is pretty good. Couple scratches along here. I had a protector, a plastic protector along here, but it just didn't look very good, but it did protect it pretty well. This is kind of a mess back here. I do have a dog that I usually carry in the other vehicle, but occasionally in here. I still have to clean out a little bit more of that, but it should be pretty much spotless by the time you would get it. We follow along to this side, little bits here and there that were touched up. This is good, a little bit there and there. This is the only major cosmetic defect is, if you can see along this corner here, this is kind of it was kind of buckled that I bought it with that. I didn't replace it because I don't notice it that much. A mess of records here. Stuff that in there for now. It does come with touch-up paint. Handy. Brand new windshield wipers, front and the rear one. Just a little bit ago. They're in good shape. But yeah, that is should pretty much wrap up the tour on this video. You can, maybe I'll put my information on this on your screen right now, or you can take a look at in the description of this video, and you should be able to yeah, go ahead and contact me if you're interested in this vehicle. Otherwise I'll just kind of, that's pretty much it. I'll drive through, and if you're interested in looking more, but that's kind of how I'll end this video. It's just kind of a little bit of a drive out. Got a little bit of gas for you so you can hear it. Let's see it go through. All right, thank you for watching.